Hello and welcome to my spare bedroom in Hook Norton in the Cotswolds. My daughter's got COVID, so we're all isolating. It's what happens. I'm sure lots of you have gone through the same issues. So we're safe in our house and garden, and we're grateful to be able to still do this for you. I've got Charlie, my son, doing all the sound. He won't want to come to the camera, but he's here. And we'll try and give you some more tips on today on Genos. They'll also work on SX. They'll work on the some of the Tyros features, or you can use them on Tyros too, but SX 7 and 900 are the same kind of operating system as the Genos. And let's see who we can welcome to so far. So Michael Banks, hi, thanks for joining us from Woolwich. Dennis Noble, hi Dennis, good to have you with us. And Neville Jolly, hi Neville. Very hot Durham City. Yeah, well, we're quite warm here. I think we're on about 26 degrees here today, so it's quite a warm day in Hook Norton in Oxfordshire. Let's have a look. Michael Harvey, hi Michael from Hexham. Hi Michael, so good to have you with us. Jeff Street, Isle of Wight. Oh, I bet that's quite warm down there as well, although you've got a bit of breeze. Yeah, you'll be able to use some of the features I'm going to show you on a CVP 809 as well, Jeff. A lot of the features are quite similar to be able to use. Perigio Oxford, hi from Italy, that's nice to have you back. I know we covered some of your questions last time. And David Gilson, hi David from North Yorkshire. Best Ricky, hi Ricky. And let's see what else we've got. We've got Stephen Johnson from Scotland, sunny Scotland, that's great. And Karen Lawrence, hi Karen, hi Tommy, and Floella, my daughter, she's watching, that's good. So we've got lots of you watching, and we want to answer your questions, but one of the things we want to answer today is, what styles do you love using? What are your favourite styles? Because we want to share the love of which styles you like with all the other people. So if you've got a style that you particularly like, do type it in and let me know on the live chat, the comments underneath, and we can go through some of them and just see what they sound like, and maybe I'll play a song with them to show the other people listening what else are really good styles, because we've all got our favourites. It's very easy to be stuck on the same 10 styles and not really go away from those, and it's good to experiment. And all the styles, we know we've got 3 intros, 3 endings and 4 backings, and some of those just might particularly suit a certain song that you play. So maybe tell me what styles you really like, if you can tell me which section, because that may help me find them quicker, and also what song you might like to play with them, and I'll try and share that with other people so we can all get some tips from you as well. The styles in this are phenomenal, and one day we're going to go through lots of songs that will suit the styles that maybe aren't in the Music Finder, because the Music Finder songs that we include and all the playlist songs and the bonus playlist songs are all very well suited to certain styles. But if you know what they are, that's going to make your playing much quicker. So the Music Finder that Yamaha have done from Tyros 5 that we include with all Genos, that's 1825 songs, and also the extra 450 from the bonus playlist, all make it a dream to play, because you can literally just go into a song title and it's all ready to go with 3 intros, 3 endings and the 4 backings. Let's just have a look on this. Okay, Karen, disco, you like the disco? Well, disco is great on this, and the disco section is really good for all your kind of ABBA-y stuff. So if we go into dance, now which section is it in? Karen, help me. We've got disco in, let's just find it, is it in the pop section? There's quite a few sections which are kind of quite modern music. If we go into, you're going to help me Karen? Dance, okay. Let's go into dance then. Well, we've got lots of dancey ones, and a lot of the dancey ones are quite European, so a lot of them are a bit more hardcore. Let's just go to find the ones that you're talking about. What we can do actually, I don't know, at the top of the style section on the orange bar is actually a little magnifying glass that says search, and I can search for all the rhythms in the style section that have got a certain part of their name. So if I actually put in disco into my typing section, that when you put the magnifying glass on and you press the rectangular box at the top of the screen, the typewriter comes up. So I'm just typing in disco, and I've got 4 pages of disco music rhythms that I can use. So I'm just going to go to the first one. It's called 70s Disco 1, and we'll just see what that sounds like, see if Karen's telling the truth. So if we play the backings, I'm going to put intro number 2 on. Let's play a chord. Intro 3. It sounds like ABBA. This is a variation. So that's just one good style. Let's see what anyone else has put on here. Thanks for Karen Lawrence for that. That's great. Hi Gordon Hughes. Okay, Rose Ballad. Trying to learn November in the Rain. Rose Ballad. Rose Ballad. I haven't actually heard of Rose Ballad. Is that actually a style on here? If I put in Rose into the search section. 90s Rose Ballad. I've never heard that before. So you're trying to play November Rain. Something I don't remember. Let's see what it sounds like. Intro 3. Sounds like a real American rock classic, doesn't it? So what you're going to find is that all these styles, if you can't find the ones we're talking about, just go to the magnifying glass, go to in the search section, go to the magnifying glass, press the box at the top of the screen, just like you'd search for a name of a song in your music finder area. Type in part of the backing, so in this case it's Rose, and it's found Rose Ballad for me, and we can use those really well. So thanks for that, Tommy. I don't know the song November Rain, but that's a good one to get into. And there's so many styles. I mean, there are literally hundreds of styles, and it's a case, I mean, I've never even heard of that, and I've played Genos since it came out quite a lot every day, so that's interesting to know, and it's a good way to get into these different styles by people recommending them. So that's a good one to go into. Let's have a look. Hi Peter Bone, nice to have you with us. Graham North from Cyprus. Hi Graham. Bill Shorthouse. Hi. Let's have a look. Rose Ballad. Yeah, all the styles are excellent, Ricky. That's very true, actually. David Gilson, he's a mixture of Sky Pop. Now, Sky Pop is a really good one. It comes on every time you turn on the keyboard. So when you go to Sky Pop, it's really good for something like Coldplay songs. You can use it for others too. If I put a backing on with an intro for the Sky Pop one that comes on every time you turn your keyboard on, Sky Pop is the one on that first screen. Good intro too. Let's try intro 3 here. And into the song. So that's a good one, Sky Pop. Now what else have you put, David? Ethereal. Yeah, Ethereal is brilliant. Ethereal movie free play for the song Come Alive from the Greatest Show. A song I don't know as well, I'm afraid, but ethereal stuff. If you go to the movie and show section, there are the ones with free play as their sort of category type. And you've got On Broadway, which I think I played All I Ask of You last week from, Romantic Movie, Movie Horns, Ethereal Movie and Ethereal Voices. And they're just 4 or 5 of the really good free play backings on here. If we go to Ethereal Movie and we just play that first intro. And the second intro. They're so moving, aren't they? So the free play styles are great because there's no backing beat to keep up to, and you can play at whatever speed you want. So on the first page of movie and show, there's just 5 there to get you started. But I think there are a couple more in other sections, but the free play are very good because you're not linked to keeping up with the beat, and very often when you're playing music, you're sort of getting the feel of it. You don't want to be kept to a rigid beat, and you can play faster or slow, and that backing just works very, very well. So they're very, very good. Thanks, David. I'm gonna have to learn Come Alive because that sounds like a great song to work with. That animation ballad style, please. Solo. I've got an answer for you for one of your other questions. I think you've been piling them in every week, and I'm a bit behind with them. But Solo Solomon, I'll try and get back to you in a minute with one of the others. Animation ballad style, please. So let's find out where that is. Animation ballad. I think it's in this same section. Animation, fantasy, animation ballads. Let's see what that sounds like. Something else just to mention here is that all these styles, if you play a minor chord as opposed to a major chord, the intros are actually quite different. So if I play this intro 3 with a F major, turn the rhythm on. If I do it in a minor chord, that's a great backing actually. If we go to the minor chord now and do the same thing. Change the camera. I don't know what song you play with it, Solomon, but it just will work for lots of ballads, won't it? It's a really good, big song. We've just realised I have no microphone on, so if anyone couldn't hear me and I was just opening my mouth, I'm sorry about that, but we've now got the microphone working and you should be able to hear me now. I'm so sorry. Okay, Guns N' Roses, not everyone's cup of tea. That would work actually for that last one, yes. Okay, hi Michael Sayers, hi Michael Banks. If you use a C major chord to play intro, does the intro change if you were to use a minor chord? Yes, it would. So I'll just do it with something different here. Let's just go into, we'll go into a fast one. If we go into jazz and we go to page 4 and just go into Dixieland. This is a major C chord on the Dixieland intro 2. Okay, if I play it on a minor chord, so it almost changes the whole intro. It just gives you a little bit of a different backing. Let's go on intro number 3 on this one as well, and I'll play a major chord, a C chord. Go to synchro start. And we'll do it on a minor chord. So it kind of gives it a different feel depending on it's a major key, which is quite upbeat, and a minor key, which is a little bit more, not quite funereal, but a little bit more subtle and a little bit in the background. So yes, it does, a minor or a major chord. So when you're playing a song, it's not always the first chord of the song that works best as an intro and ending. It's very often the last chord, because the very last chord of the song will be the key of the chord of the song starting. So very often when you're playing music and you've got it in a certain key for the whole of the piece of music, the last chord you play will normally signify the key of the song. So that's the best chord to play when you want the intro to kind of get started first of all, because very often when you go into a song, it won't always be the key. and that's what you kind of want that whole intro to be in the spirit of, really. So very often, if you want to play an intro and it's like intro 3, that's quite a long intro, go to the end of the song and see how it finishes, and 99% of the time I think you'll all agree that's the key of the song that you want it to be sounding like on the introduction. Okay, Michael Bax, thank you, that's okay. You look great in a blue t-shirt, thank you very much. It's getting a bit warm in here, we've got no ventilation, we've closed all the windows because of the traffic going past and the wind. So there we go. So certainly with regard to the styles, that can make a difference. The search, best Ricky, the search is very useful. I've saved a few, but best in the desired accompaniment, tie the small yellow line. So this is something else. If you like a style and you really like using it regularly, you can hold your finger on the name of the style in the style section for about 3 seconds, and a little yellow line comes down the side of it. So if I hold my finger on the screen, next to where the little bit that says jazz or movie and show comes up, you'll see a yellow line come on. And just at the top of the screen, in that orange box, what happens is you'll see there's a star in it. And if we press that star, all the ones that you held down for 3 seconds comes on as a choice on the screen that you can go from. So they can be your favourites. It's a bit like when you had the music finder on a Tyros 5 and you could make all your favourite songs into the favourites tab in the middle, the second tab along, and this is just the same. So any style that you like, hold your finger on the title for about 3 seconds, and that will then put a little yellow line down the side. And then when you go to in the orange section at the top of the styles, you've got a star next to user and preset. Press that star, and all the ones that you held down the name for 3 seconds with the yellow all come up on that screen as like a short list. So you're probably like me, you probably only use 10 styles the most, and that's your way. You can hold those styles into your favorites page, and every time you go to the star at the top of the styles page, you'll see all the ones that you regularly use. That's actually bad because it means you're not going to try and experiment more, but it's worth putting them all in one place just by holding your finger on them, and you'll see a little yellow line appear, and that will put them into your favorites. It's another thing that Yamaha have done without anyone probably asking, and it's just such a clever idea because you're going to then have them all there. And if you don't want them to stay on the favorites page, in the favorites page, hold them down for 3 seconds and they disappear, and then they're still in all the main sections still, but it means that your short list is one of the stars. And that works exactly the same too with the voices. So if we're in the voice section, if you touch one of the pictures on the main screen of the voice sections, any voice that you hold your finger down for 3 seconds, next to the little picture of the instrument, a yellow line comes on, and again at the top of the screen in the blue line you'll get a star, and that will show you all the sounds that you've held down for 3 seconds, and they're your favorites. They're the shortcut to all your favorites that you want to use. So you might have made sounds that are in the user section, but the favorites will be the preset ones which you've held down. And it's such a clever idea, and probably many of you didn't realize that was in fact, tell me if you didn't know that, let me know, and that's a good thing to know that we're showing you some useful stuff. So let me know where you are. It's good to know that we've got to people all around the world, but also let me know styles that you like, and let me know if you found out the yellow thing by holding the voice down, because it's such a clever way to know your favorite voices, and many of you probably didn't realize that star actually is quite significant. So do use that just in the voice and the style section. Okay, let's just check you're still here. Hi, Alan Bourne from Felixstowe. Good to have you with us. Yeah, best Ricky. That was a really good. This is Ricky Chappell. Thanks for joining us, Ricky. This is the yellow thing is a really good thing to show people. I'm pleased you did show us that. Stephen Johnson, got to put on pause while get the meat marinating on for the barbecue. Oh, that's not fair. We're stuck in this this warm room. Okay, so that's a few things we start off with. Let's just go to some of the stuff I've got to show you today. And one other thing is someone asked about getting stuff off of USB sticks. It was Solo Solomon. So Solo, if you want to take things off a USB stick, the first thing you've got to think about is what's on the stick. Is it a registration? Is it a style? Is it a user voice? Is it a song? You've got to think what you're actually bringing off the stick, because if you're going to go into bring a registration from a memory stick, it won't be available to use anywhere other than in the registration area. So if we go to the keyboard picture a minute, Charlie, if we want to put our memory stick in and we want to bring in a registration, let's say you've got some Strawberry Music registrations, or we've sent you some registrations from one of our live streams, you press the two registration bank black buttons together, okay, and then If you want to go to the USB stick, USB 1 is the stick that we've loaded all your extra styles and files and things onto, and is underneath the screen. It's a little compartment. But if you go to USB 2, that will be the next stick. So the way that it works is that the first stick that you plug into the keyboard or leave into the keyboard, that is always USB 1. Now, in the case of all the files that we've loaded in for you that have bought from us, those files will be accessible from the user area. You wouldn't use USB 1, you'd use it all from the user area. But if you go to plug another stick in, then USB 2 is where you would find them on the screen, and that will go into whatever is on your plug-in stick. And you've got an extra place on the back to plug one in, and you've got one on the front. Okay, so what we can do is, if you want to plug in a registration, we go into the two black registration buttons, and that will then show you on the screen when you go to USB 2. That will then show you what is available to select from your memory stick. Now, if it's a style, you've got to go into the style section. So exit back to the main screen, press the orange style section on the screen, which comes on with Skypop when you turn on the keyboard, and then again go to user at the top of the screen, and then pick your USB 2. Okay, and this is also where you'll find your expansion styles or your expansion voices. So what we're going to remember is that the user area is for everything that wasn't in the instrument when it was set up from the factory. Okay, so along the top in the style bar, you've got the orange style bar, and you've got preset, user, and you've got the star for your favorites. So user is where you'll access everything to do with the memory stick. And if we go to the voice area, if we go back to the main screen, we'll choose the picture on the piano voice, go down to USB 2 again, and then you can select it in the correct way. Now, if it's a song that you're downloading, you've got a little thing, a little bit like a tic tac at the top of the screen next to where it says song, and that slides across. So if it's a audio song which has got just the recording of something, you've got to slide that little audio, that little tic tac shape white part just across, so that it goes across to the audio end. And if it's a MIDI song, you've got to slide it, else it won't show on the screen anything that you've got on your stick. It's got to be set to the right thing. And that's a big thing to bear in mind as well, because you might see these folders in the wrong section. You might see a registration folder in the song section, but it'll be empty, and you'll think, oh, I've lost all my files. But it's because it's not going to be there. It'll have the folder in there, but it won't actually show you any of the files, because those files will only come up in the correct place. Registration file will be in the registration buttons, song file in the song button. So just remember, what am I loading in? Am I in the user area? Is it set to USB 2, which will be the place? And if it's a song, is it going to be a MIDI song or an audio song? I hope that helps. So that's for Solomon. I hope, Solomon, that gives you a bit of an idea. Let's see what else we've got here. Peter Bone didn't know different intros. Okay. It says on mine, unable to connect to chat. Please try again later. So I don't know what we've got on there, whether you can refresh the page. Just doing that now. I'm now refreshing the page. Let's see if that makes all the difference. Adds a bit more interest when we're doing it from a spare bedroom of my house. Okay, so we've gone through a few things already. There was another thing that we were asked about. Let me just see what that was. Just have a look. So styles from USB we now explained. Now we've covered other stuff too, and we've also covered you've got to look in the right place for all these things. Is it going to be in the song section or whatever? We've got a message asking lately. The song Lately, Stevie Wonder. Now it says what is the best style for that. Now, one of the things that we've covered, which I'll cover again, is that all these songs that we're loading into your instrument from the music finder of a Tyros 5 and the bonus packs for a Genos, they are all available to search by going into the two registration bank buttons. So these two buttons just on the panel here, if we press them together, the two shiny ones under the screen, and then we press the magnifying glass at the top of the screen, and we can search for the song Lately. So we press the black box top of the screen, we delete the old letters, and we type in the song title Lately. Now, not every song will be there, because there are millions of songs, and only a restricted about 2,500 that we've loaded in to Genos for people. But if we go to Lately, let's go OK, and we've got Have I Told You Lately, and we've got Lately. So number 885 from the music finder of Tyros songs does actually give you a suggestion. Let's see what it is. So we go to Lately, and we can see what we've got set up, and that will give me a style. Let's see what style it's going to give me. So we've got let's select it.
and press number 1 button. And there we go, it's all ready to play now, and it's set up with Smooth Pop Ballad, and Smooth Pop Ballad is in the pop section. So let's just see what that sounds like. It's automatically set up intro 2. It's given me A as the sound. I'll play my first one. I'm going to play it in the key of F. Don't think I can remember it. Yeah, that works okay, doesn't it? So that is lately, and it's suggested in the pop section, Smooth Pop Ballad, and it gives you those 4 suggestions and intros and endings. It's very clever because it kind of sets you up without having to think too much about it. And if you know the song or have the music, or you can bluff your way through it, then that's a good way to have a good setting for it. So that's lately. Let's see if I can get some more of your questions now. I'm actually struggling to get this to come back on again. Let's just see. This is doing things live. Let's come back in again. Talk amongst yourselves a minute. Here we go. I've got it. So, well remembered. Thanks, Kevin. That's kind of you. That sounds interesting. That sounds a bit ominous. Is that I don't know if it's a compliment or a telling off. Okay, I didn't know about the freebies from Yamaha, so after last week I went on the computer, Stephen Johnson, and downloaded loads, hours of fun. So this is we talked about the expansion packs, and expansion packs used to be £40 and £80 for a pack of sounds or voices, and they're now free to download, and we're putting them into all the new ones that we're selling. But on the Yamaha website, if you were to put in expansion packs, it'll explain that they're in an area called YamahaMusicSoft.com, YamahaMusicSoft.com, and you can download them free. It's a little bit of a complicated way, as you probably found, Stephen, to actually get them into your instrument, and if you do put them in, you will lose stuff that was already in the expansion packs area. So you need to make sure that you load everything in a bundle. But do get in touch if you get stuck, and we'll give you lots of help with that. The video skipped, Best Rookie. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I hope you've got back on again now. Mick Sayers, you've back rebooted. Yeah, back now. That's good. Back now. Thank you. Broadband in USC sucks. Yes, it does, Tommy. 2 meg up 2 years. Normal service now resumed. Hold this space. Must buy a new house then. Frozen in Newcastle on Lime. Oh, sorry, Dennis. It's our fault. We've sorted it out. It was our internet, and I do apologise. Refreshes, but no difference. I see you all chatting amongst yourselves. Jeff's gone to light his barbecue. Jeff Street and Frozen. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. You need to put another coin in the electric, David Gilson. That was a good idea. Frozen on the screen. Live stream is frozen. Screen and audio stored. Okay, just missed the start. Terence Park is back. Okay, thanks for all joining us. This is it's a two-way thing here. It's not just me showing you. If I want you to ask about stuff and tell me. So one of the things we asked was what what styles in your keyboard do you use lots of? Is it the waltzes and the English waltzes and the swings, or there are certain sort of styles that you found that work very well? And I think that's what I've found, is that there's lots of things that you just stumble upon, which very often they're at the back of a section that you perhaps wouldn't find. There's a couple of songs in here, styles. A Russian Waltz was the one I started with. TV themes is a great one. If you go into the movie and show section and you go into page 2, there's one called 70s TV themes. Now if you play it on intro number 2 with a minor chord, it's great. If I think it's a minor, I've got myself question now. It will give you a great one for the professionals. So if I play intro number 2, and sound number 1 works really well. That's a really good style, isn't it? And that's it's called 70s TV themes, top of page 2 in movie and show. But if you use the different intro number 3, and start off with maybe the B sound upwards to the D, you've got a very different sound. It's much more like Charlie's Angels, which also is 70s TV themes. It's definitely. Can everyone hear me? I think we've got an issue with our microphone. I think you can hear me. Okay, that's good. So let's go down to. I love the jazz styles best. Yeah, Mick Sayers, I agree with you. The jazz styles are fantastic, and I'll show you a few of my jazz style favourites then. So if we go into jazz, we've got the first 2, which are much newer than all the others. They've come specially for the Genos. So Big Band Crooner. It's great, isn't it? It's just so uplifting and just so wants you to play more and play more stuff. The second new one on here is Big Band Count. I'm sure you found it, but let's just try that one. So that's big bang count, and that's another really big one. Now, if we go to the end of it, we've got the 4th page, and this is going to give you some stuff that you might not have gone into as much. So we've got one called Jump and Jive, which is no hands. You can just play over the intro. Do it again. So that's a really good full-on sound. Ragtime is great for like the entertainer or something. Ragtime, jazz page, right at the end, page 4, Dixieland, and then another really good one in the swing section. If we go to intro 2, put the transpose back because I tend to use that quite a lot, and we'll just play 5/2. So that's just a few of the jazz section. That's really good. Thanks for mentioning that, Mick Sayers from China. They're really good style. The jazz, I think it's my favourite section actually. The jazz section. It's a really good section of backings. Let's try and catch up with a few of your notes. And thanks all for letting me know what you're thinking. Obviously you haven't all gone yet. So let's have a look. Gone too far back now. Thomas put, can you explain when and when not to use OTS with registrations, please? Okay, so we covered this, I covered this with a customer, I think, actually last week. The idea of the OTS link button is very, very good because it gives you 4 different one-touch settings. If we see the keyboard for a sec, so we've got the one-touch setting buttons along here, 1, 2, 3 and 4, just to the right of the screen. And they give you, for whatever style is turned on, they give you 4 really good sound sections, sound settings. So 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now the beauty is right down this other end, just above intro 2 is a button called OTS link, and if this OTS link is turned on next to the ACMP button, that means that the A style of backing also changes the OTS, the one touch settings, to the first one. B, you can see the light change to 2, C changes to 3 and D to 4. So what that means is that when you're playing with a style and you want to get a really good setting, you can just go straight, if the OTS link is turned on, A will give you a good setting, B will, and they'll give you different sounds depending on what backing A, B, C, D you've got, because we've got them coupled up, A to 1, B to 2, C to 3 and D to 4. Now if you wanted to play and you wanted to change from the backings between the A, B, C and D, but you don't want the sound to change, then turn that off, because every time you change between them it will change sound as well. So what very often happens, you think, oh, that's a great trumpet sound, I'm playing that on with a C button, but you'll lose it if you go to D. if you've got the link turned on. So we turn the link back off and we can go to the ABCDs and it will just keep on that sound that you've got selected. So do remember, if we've got a sound that you want to keep on and you don't want it to change, just turn off the light for the OTS link button above intro 2, and that will then mean that the light will be light off and A, B, C and D will just keep the same sound. So you've got to think, do we want the sounds to keep changing when you change A, B, C or D over, or do you want them just to stay on the one that you maybe like that's set up at the time? So if that's the case, when you're playing, you can just do it when you're playing. It doesn't have to be before or after the song. Think about turning off the OTS link before you change the ABCD button, because that will retain the same sound and just give you the variation on the accompaniment. And that's also something to bear in mind. If you're using some of your registration area buttons, the 10 buttons under the screen, if that OTS link button is turned on and you go A, B, C or D, you'll lose the sound that's in your button temporarily while you're playing, and it might be you want to change the ABCD accompaniment but leave the sound from your registration button. So the big thing to remember is, if the OTS link button is turned on, that means every time you go between the ABCD accompaniment variations, the sound will be forced into being the Yamaha suggestion, which is, it's normally pretty good, but if you've got a sound that you like that you're using, maybe from your registration area, that's when you want to turn that off for a little while. And you've just got to think in the middle of playing, do I want the sound to change or do I want it to stay on? And if you want it to stay on, turn that light off, the OTS link, and it's just above intro 2 while you want it to stay on that same sound. There is another way you can do it. You've got a freeze button, and quite a lot of you people use this freeze button. If we go to the keyboard picture a minute, you might just be able to see the freeze just here. And if we want to set this freeze button up, we could set it with the sound or the style. So if you're using lots of registration buttons and you want the sound to stay on, you could set the freeze button to be just the voices. And the way we do that, we press the direct access button just down here below the ninth slider. Press that, then touch the freeze button, and you can tick the box for whatever you want that you want to freeze when the freeze button is down. So what we're going to say on this case is, if you want to keep your voice on but you want all the styles to keep changing, we could set it so that when the freeze button is down, the voice stays on, and everything you do with all your registrations and your ABCD variations will not change the sound whenever the freeze button is on. So you could be changing everything but leave it on a trumpet all the way through or something, or you could have it set to your style section so your style stays the same. Now the freeze is quite an interesting thing, because in the freeze area you can freeze loads and loads of different things, and these are things that you might want to just stay in one place while you're going through different registrations. So it might be that you want to keep the voice or the tempo the same, or the harmony. You might want to keep the harmony on even though you're going through different registrations that don't have the harmony selected. So that's where you can freeze those sections by putting a tick in them, and then when you go to use the freeze button, just the ones with ticks, they will be the only ones that will actually stay in the same position when you turn the freeze on. Now there is another section that I want to tell you about called parameter lock, and the way parameter lock works is that you can set the keyboard so that things will stay exactly the same when you go to all these different registration, strawberry music sticks or your own registrations or something else, and you can force the keyboard to stay in the same setup. Now the best things that I find that I would use this for is the split point and the way that you're playing your left hand, because you might have a registration that forces the keyboard to be one finger chords all the time, or it forces the keyboard to be fingered or piano style. And if your method of playing is always the same with the chords and always the same with where you want the split point to be, then you can go into what's called parameter lock, and we can lock it so that whatever you do, whenever you turn the keyboard on, it retains those settings. So a lot of people who maybe a one finger chord player that might buy the registrations from somewhere, you want it to always be, you don't have got to keep changing it every time you go in. So what we do, we go into the menu button. If we see the panel again, Charlie, please. Press the menu button, and the menu is quite clever. We can press the menu button a second time and it'll go to its second page. So we've gone to page 2 now, and I'm going to go into utility, which is the one with the picture of a spanner. Now one of the left hand choices is parameter lock, and this is where you can have a fiddle with this, but the idea is that if you set it to split point and fingering, that means that whatever registrations you go into, your split point will retain the last place that you left it. So I can go in and change the split point tomorrow, and then it will keep that because I've got it in the locked position. So split point and fingering type. Fingering type would be single fingered chord, it might be full keyboard, it might be AI fingering, not A1 as I said last time. And the idea is that you can lock them in so that they keep the settings. The other choices on the parameter lock is the reverb type, the reverb level, the chorus return level, the variation effect, and the vocal harmony and mic settings. So it might be you always want your mic settings to be a typical way that you've found that suits you. And if we set any of those tick boxes and then exit out of it, that will mean that whatever we change now in the mic settings or in the registration, so the functions of the left hand or the split point, that will mean then that they will stay locked in until you go back in and manually change them. Whatever registrations you choose, they'll lock in. So hope you found that useful. That's quite a big thing to know, because if you're currently going into registration, you think, oh, the previous person has set it to one finger chords and I don't want to be using that. You can set it once for your own keyboard, and whenever you go into someone else's registrations, things like the split point, the mic settings and the fingering settings will just stay the way you want them without having to keep going back in and changing them. Okay, let's just check a few of your things out then. Bill Shorthouse, great. Great, I can work with style lately, thanks. So yeah, that's a good style, Bill, for that lately. You probably pay it better than me. Score, I haven't got the score for lately, I'm sorry, I've just bluffed my way through it. Hello from Plymouth, hi David Tuthill, Mick Banks, score, oh, score 1-1 at half time. So we're doing the football now as well by the sound of things. Okay, Jazz Styles best. Dennis Noble from Newcastle, did you get my question? Can you recommend the best microphone to use with a Genos? Sorry, I missed that earlier, Dennis. Microphones are a thing that you can get for different sort of things. If it's a vocal microphone, then there's a Shure microphone available called a SM57, and that's a really good vocal microphone. So if it's for singing that you want, which I expect is what you're going to use it for, then the Shure SM57 we used to sell the microphones. SM58's also a very good microphone. That's an all-rounder, but the 57 was more of a vocal microphone, or the SM58. One's much more of a narrow mic, one's got the ball on the top, and they're both good for using. We sell the cheaper ones, we don't stock the microphones, that's for the microphone specialists, but Shure is a very good one who do very good microphones, and certainly the 57 and the 58 are both very good. You have to pay extra if you want a switch on them, which is quite interesting. So you can buy an SM58 or you can buy an SM58S if you want to have a switch to be able to turn it off. Obviously you've got a slider that you can set to a microphone, and you've got a torque facility on your mic settings and a gain, but you could have it that you can switch the switch off, and that's going to be a little bit more, probably another 20 or 30 pounds. So you've got to think whether that's important. And then Shure do another range higher called Beta, and the Beta ones are just sort of their next, the platinum range or whatever. And so 57s, 58s, and then you've got the one with the switch with an S, and you've also got the Beta range, which is our next level up as well. Okay, sing along with Clive. Hi David, it's kind of you to share your music skills and knowledge with us. Great tips, thank you very much, that's kind of you. Sing along with Clive. Best Trigger, I'd love assistance downloading the complementary expansion packs. I don't want to miss out. Well, they're really good. We're going to have to try and work out a way, Ricky, where we can help you with that one. Daleks invading, I don't know what you mean by that, but maybe that's my playing. Thanks, John Salmons. Yes, hear you now. I expect that was when we lost the voices. That's Charlie's fault. I was complimenting him last week. We're going to sack him this week. Only joking. That's my son, Charlie. Okay, let's go a bit further. Jeff Rigby, are you planning another Tyros 5 seminar? Yes, we will do. I've brought a Tyros 5 home as well, Jeff. So probably on one of the days next week. We're going to try and do this a bit more next week because we're stuck at home, and it's a good way to share some ideas and hear what you're saying. So yes, I'll do a Tyros 5 hopefully on Monday. Jeff will do a Tyros 5 version of what we're doing now. Hi Albert de Grief. Hi there, was fooled today, expected 3 o'clock. Well, you can watch anything that we've done like this. You can watch it again and again and again. They stay on YouTube. So if there's something that you particularly like and you want to keep going back and working out on your instrument, you can pause it and play it from your iPad or your laptop or your computer. And these are going to be on there for life now. So if you wanted to go back and see how we're fooling about, then certainly that's possible, because we'll have left them available to watch afterwards. So if you missed the beginning, Albert de Grief, you can go back in and see it. Max Green, I find myself my PSR 600 fantastic. That must be the SX600. But the styles are more complex than my Ringway organ. I've been watching you playing your Ringway organ. There's some great playing max that you've been doing on the Facebook pages. But in some respects, you need to be a better player. I think the keyboard does a lot of this to make you feel like you're a better player. And I think you've got to think that the more you play it, the more you're going to inspire yourself to try the different sounds and styles and be more confident letting go of your chord to press the break button or the different ABC variations and things. So that's something to try. I tend to use a lot of 50s and 60s, Stephen Johnson. So 50s and 60s styles. Let's have a quick look. If we go into the style section, press the orange one on the main screen. If we go into the I think they're going to be in the oldies, aren't they? The 50s and 60s. So some great stuff like the shadows. If we go into, let's have a look. Shadows Pop. Second one down in the oldies section. Let's see what that sounds like. I'm going to put the OTS link back on so I get their best sounds. I'm going to put intro 2 on and play my chord. Transpose. Incidentally, that break button is really, really good. When we're playing with this particular rhythm and lots of the rhythms, the break button will give us something very appropriate. So when I'm playing, I'll do the break now. Ready? And it just fits really, really well. So the break button is well worth using. Let's see what else we've got in this 60s and 70s, 50s and 60s section. We've got House of the Rising Sun. I think we did this last week, but let's just play the first chord. And that was a major chord. I think it would be better on a minor chord. Let's just try on a minor chord. And we'll try the other one again. That's better. So that's a really good example of how a major or minor chord won't quite suit that intro so well. So let's just listen on a C major chord with the 60s Rising Sun. It kind of works, but it's not quite right for that song. But if we play it with the minor chord, which is what House of the Rising Sun would start with. That sounds much better, doesn't it? So that's a good one to try. We've got loads in this 60s rock and roll, and 50s rock and roll are very, very good. This is 50s rock and roll. Good one to play along with. Let's compare that to 60s rock and roll, because it'll be the next range up. Let's do the same again. A bit faster. So for the rock and roll stuff, you can get away with the 3 chords. And many of you probably know this, but I'll just explain that there's like a 12-bar blues that work very well with the rock and roll music. So if I play a C chord, then go to an F chord, and back to C chord, then to a G or G7, F, C. To F, to B, C, to G, F, C. So it kind of works for all kind of rock and roll stuff, and it just gives you that sort of ongoing thing that you can use. And you could put that into the chord looper, and that's a good way to just keep that going through while then you play over the top of it. The chord looper that we showed you last week. Let's just check your message. That's a good one. Stephen Johnson, thanks for saying about the 60s and 70s. Sound and vision are out of sync. I don't know whether you're finding that or not. You might have to close your eyes then while I'm playing. Sorry about that. That's the downfall of using a very hot spare bedroom in my house, for those of you who joined very late. Okay. Are you playing another Tyrus 4? Yes, we've done that already. My things just jumped again. Was full today, expected 3 p.m. We've covered that one. Scissors and sound packs, that's no problem. Ricky would do that. Okay. So we've got the results of the poll we did, which is 48% of you have got Genoses now. 20% haven't got any of the 3 mentioned. 18 have got SX series, and 12% have got the Tyruses. The Tyruses are still the most remarkable keyboard, and we still have people who have got a Tyrus and a Genos because they are remarkable. The Tyrus 5 in particular, but the Genos has just got loads of extras for now. At the moment, we've got a couple of second-hand Genoses in, so people have. Those 52% that don't have one, we've got some fantastic used Genoses with speakers at 3299, and they will give you all the stuff that we're talking about today. They'll be loaded up with 600 registrations, with 1825 songs in the music finder. They'll be loaded with the 450 extra playlist songs, all the latest firmware, 25 sound voice packs and style packs to give you all the extra stuff. So we include it all when we sell one. So although we want to show you as much as we can, we do sell them, and we are a shop, and we'll be grateful if you buy anything from us. But essentially we want you to get the support, and that's what we're doing by these kind of shows. And we're going to try and do one Monday to Friday next week while I'm stuck in lockdown. My daughter's got COVID. I went for a test this morning. I'll know tomorrow if I'm totally COVID free or not, but it doesn't affect us playing the Genos, hopefully, and we're pleased to show you. So I think we're going to wrap it up now. I want to thank you all for watching. We appreciate all your comments and things that you've sent in, and we will keep to looking on those. And also, if you've missed something or we've missed one of your questions, in fact there was one more about a HS7 I saw. Let me just go back to the last one that I missed. Let's just see who put that down. David Tuttle, could I use an HS7 powered monitor speaker with Genos and keep this existing subwoofer? Yes, you can. So on the back of the instrument you have extra outputs that you can allocate to more speakers. So you could keep the main left and right for your speakers, for either the Yamaha speakers or whatever speakers you're using, but there are some extra outputs, and you can allocate them for either everything or just the style section or just the right one section. So you can go in and allocate them to the part you want. So yes, certainly David Tuttle, if you've got a good speaker, you could use that to enhance it, maybe get a bit more bass, because the speakers I think that the Yamaha do, the MS01s, are very, very good, and they're included with our used Genoses, but you can always add a bit more bass or a bit more to just emphasize the richness of the sound. So that's something. So do send us in more questions. If you like what you're watching, stick a thumbs up next to our video, and we'll be pleased to hear that you've enjoyed it. Do send us any emails. There's going to be a part at the bottom you can fill in any questions you've got, and you can come through to our website ePianos.co.uk, and we'll try and include them on the next week's live stream that we're doing. We want to help you with any part of it. So if there's a certain section that you want some help with, that you're just wanting to ask us, then do ask on an email. We can either reply with the answer, or we can include it in one of these in the future, and that will give other people the knowledge as well. We do sell accessories. We've got used stands, we've got used covers, gig bags. We've got some of the Yamaha Genos trolley gig bags, second hand and new as well. So we're always able to help you with that. And we sell second-hand music too. We've got Mel's Music on the website. You can go to the accessories page and there are loads and loads of books specifically for keyboard, which will give you lots and lots of songs, and we've listed a lot of those songs on the website too. And keep in touch with us. We're here to help you. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you on Monday. We'll try and do it for the same time of 2 o'clock, and I think Monday we'll do a Tyros 5 one to keep some of you happy, and that will still show you things that you can try on your keyboard. And let us know any of the styles that you like, and then we'll try and include some of the styles on the Tyros 5 one. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the sun, and we'll see you all next week. Bye bye.